they say motion is lotion. My natural nails are thriving. I always get this feeling anytime I'm in and I feel that my time there may be over soon. It's a very interesting feeling. I've written about it. I've mostly internally processed it. I have wanted to talk about it with people, but I don't know. I think the beginnings of something is forming, the beginnings of a piece, a deeply reflective piece might be forming. And this is part of my process, verbal processing. So we'll see if it can be used for anything. But as you can't see, because it's on the floor, but I'm still living out of suitcases, which is a very comfortable feeling for me. Not necessarily ideal, but it is comfortable. And I just walked home from having a dinner. Actually, I had two dinners. I had two fish dinners back to back. And basically, I just asked them for more fish and more rice and more tortillas and all of that good stuff. And it was delicious and amazing. And it's like what I felt I needed, pre-cycle, even though I feel like my cycle just ended. I want relief from that so bad. Imagine never having had a break except when you were 18 on birth control. Having a cycle every month, especially a difficult one, is quite taxing, but something you get used to. Thinking about myself now and I'm thinking about myself 20 years ago. And I've just had this flashback comparison. But I don't have any real videos of me talking like this from more than like 12 years ago, I think. Actually, maybe 14. It'll be really interesting to splice something in and see, me talking to my former self from 14 years ago. I know I've grown, I know I've changed, but not completely. I don't know, have I become the person that I wanted to be? I don't know. I think that one of the things I've been thinking about lately is just how much I miss things that are familiar to me in the everyday. Even though, where I live right now, Mexico City is not so different from the States. It's just like things function in basically the same way. It's not vastly different. It's just there are some things that you can find in certain cities, like something more down home, something more mom and pop, something more slow, something more natural, something more local that is more pervasive here than in other places. So you still have Walmart, you still have banks, you still have mega stores and warehouse stores and outlet stores and things like that. You still have all the name brands. You still have the Nike store. You still have the Adidas store. You still have, processed food. Like, it's not so different. It's just that food stands, you have little mom and pop shops, you have little stores, you have so many stores that aren't on Google Maps, you have little things that just like pop up markets, so many mercados, so many just so many little means of commerce. That's one major standout difference. But it's not like having lived in New York, there was a lot of like little stores, so it's, little family owned stores. So you still got that, like little spots that you just had to know about, or little spots that sold really amazing, like imported or just handmade goods, like from that person's culture or related cultures, and it was just there. So I had that. So I think when you lived in New York, you lived in the world in a different way. You lived in the United States in a different way than if you had never experienced an international city. I think there are other cities that can kind of, say that too. But obviously New York is quite special. It's where much of the world met. Like, did you know that there was a lot of Lebanese influence here and a great Middle Eastern food? There's a lot of German, Italian, and French influence, even Polish like influence here in Mexico City. Did you ever think about Mexico and Lebanon? Did you ever like put those two together? It's like the world is so interconnected, and like understanding the history and the connections of these places is what's really fascinating about it for me. I've had a really immersive experience, but I haven't ventured out to a bunch of different states here in the country. I would like to do that, but at the same time, I'm itchy, like I'm itchy to just go somewhere else too. Like almost like to start this whole process over again of just like re-ingratiating myself and just figuring like what is this part of the world's reaction to this because that's just what they see first. So here I have gotten, are you Colombian? Are you Jamaican? Are you African? Or Estados Unidos? Or, it's a compliment to me to be seen as different, because I don't know, it's interesting. Just like it's just interesting to see people from different places, different backgrounds. I mean, mostly everybody I've seen has different background, and like nobody's family is just from one place. So one of the things that I have been a little bit wary of talking about is my experience here. One, because it's not a luxury experience. And I think that's or a tropical experience, like in terms of like being in, you know, that part of Mexico, Quintana Roo, like that state. I haven't, like, that's not my experience. So therefore, I don't really think that there's a demand for the aesthetic of what I'm experiencing. And, so I have been wary of kind of experiencing it because I want to process it fully, and I would like to live it and have my misconceptions and just share that as I share them with people, rather than to share it in this kind of space. Yeah, I just didn't wish to document my story in that way. But what I will say is that being outside of the United States, being kind of removed from Black American culture as it's happening where it is created and broadcast out to the world, whether that be in New York or any other city that I have lived in or have family from or whatever, like Atlanta or something like that, or just being on the same soil, you know what I'm saying? Just being inundated within the same, like inundated with that new type of news, or just hearing people around you speak English, like being able to eavesdrop in a different way than, I can't really do that here. Like it's really disorienting. It's dislocating in a way that I think a lot of people don't want to admit or say. It's, what do you call it? I said disorienting. What is it? There's no rush. And why do I feel the need to have the right words for this right now? That's another thing. Like sometimes you may not have the right words for what it is that you're going through. So it's like, why say anything? Just live. Just live, which is what I'm trying to, honestly, literally just survive. Thrive. So we can't deny the economic reasons as to why I moved here, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not solving every problem. There's still the problem of motivation for the things I want to do. There's still the problem of so-called not making enough. That's my particular experience. A lot of people don't have that experience. I really feel like maybe the average like expat or immigrant cannot, I don't have to say expat because it feels more temporary, which feels more accurate for me. I'm not gonna lie. I feel a little bit more out of place, like less of a plan. So I don't know. I'm not coming here like living like the top 1% of, nah. I'm pretty sure there's many Mexicans who probably make more than me, and it really feels like I'm continually starting over rather than building on what I have. I've experienced some physical difficulties that have grounded me, bedded me, housed me, meaning kept me inside, kept me in the bed, kept me resting when I really felt like I had a true buildup of energy. Like, I don't know what the spiritual reasons are for that, but as my orthopedic doctor said, hey, it's no secret we're getting older. And it's just like, I don't really want to accept that, but it is true. It's true. So writing has been an emerging that I know I want to take more of a front row. Reading as well, herbalism and herbology, the study of herbs, the application of herbs, I feel like has really eased a lot of symptoms that I felt with my cycle, but I haven't, and I'm not even going to say I haven't been consistent. I went hard and then I took a break. And I love what's available to me here in terms of that. And I think, in terms of just future plans, if I can just establish like a type of just a settledness, I guess, then I can carve out more of my time to be what I want it to be. It's time. It's just time for me to do that and give myself that. How I'm working things now is just like for the foreseeable future. I'm just here. And I don't know, but I think really needed for me is just to get out of my current environment, go back to the States and just visit and just, remember all the reasons why I love being here. Like sometimes you just have to miss something in order to appreciate it. And that's facts. There's something even deeper that I wanted to express. Like I talked about feeling like an outsider, but I don't know, like some channels I've noticed push a particular thing and it is a channel, which means it's a channel of information that has to be, the algorithm has to be able to pick it up. So once you start on something and it picks up, you kind of have to go in that direction. I've seen it. I watch a ton of YouTube. I watch a lot and I watch certain creators, and there's some that I like genuinely like and would love to just hang out with, and there's some that's just like, you are literally, I just like your content. And there's some where it's like you're just a character to me. Like I just think everything you do is scripted and you don't even write the script. And then I watch the travel content. I love the relocation content. I love to see people move to other countries and just what just why they do it, and what their experience is and how they're feeling. And and I'm really selfish. This is not a reciprocal relationship because I'm not putting it out there as much as they are. So, but these people, they talk about like leaving, the States or whatever. And I'm just like, it's so, I mean, I don't know what the numbers are, the stats are, but it's just like, it's so few people really doing that. I think everyone should travel if they can, go somewhere, but it's really not practical. And also, I just think like not everybody should. So sometimes the push seems a little insincere, and it just seems like at this point this is just what your channel is known for, and this is what your channel has to continue to push in order to survive. And it doesn't really seem real or sincere. It just seems like somebody is now behind you paying you, or it's literally just you're getting paid to say these types of things. Like I didn't have some big, like my friend group was, my main friend group was like really a mix of friends and family, like in New York. And then I had a friend group that was really just by proxy of a guy that I was dating when I was in South Carolina. And then it disbanded and broke down as that relationship ended. And now there's just like individuals scattered about. And then with my New York people, everybody's like just kind of like still not really close, but my core group of people are mostly in New York. And I don't know, I was just like, I always like keep in touch with them. I don't know. So to me, it didn't really matter where I was. Like I was always gonna have to do what was best for me. But I say that to say like I didn't have some big friend group that I was afraid to leave, or I'm pretty independent in that way. And I don't really base my decisions off of, even though I feel really not, I'm not like dismissive of it, but I just always know when I feel this desire to forge a new path for myself and create new like communities within myself or within my world, that I will do it. It's almost like I don't have a choice in doing it. I feel quite compelled and pulled towards doing that. So I love to talk on the phone. I know how to reach out to people. Like I'm great at answering text messages. It's not the typical ADHD thing. Like I will hop on a video call with somebody. Like I'm very good at staying connected with people. So to me, that was never really the issue. So it was nothing for me to leave. So basically for me to do it, I just knew I could afford it. Like even though I couldn't afford the luxury aesthetic that a lot of people push when they talk about moving here, like I knew I could afford something decent enough for myself. That's why I did it. I didn't see that in New York, and I didn't see that in other areas of the country that I wanted to be. So it was that simple. It really, really was. And all these other benefits came with it once I got here, just to be able to experience the warmth of people, the jovialness of people, the celebratory nature of people, the spirit of people, the food of people, the culture of people. Like all these other benefits came, to be able to connect with other Black people who came from all over the world or all over the United States, and both, and came here and come here, and to be able to be in nostalgic spaces with them and be in these close knit spaces with them. I mean, it was incredible. I mean, there was an era around the time that I came that was so special. The group of Black women who were creating these spaces was unmatched and will never be again. It's fossilized and crystallized in time. And there's so many videos of me twerking just out there somewhere. Somebody got them. and they're beautiful, beautiful memories that you just to be doing that in another country, it felt like a different type of freedom, a different type of liberation, a different type of soft life experience, a manifestation of that. So, it was just so beautiful. And really, even though that era is past, I now go on my own little trek and quest to possibly go visit some other states and stay there long term and visit other countries and definitely go to Africa and experience that. Oh my gosh, what, who knows what that's going to bring to my life. But it doesn't seem sincere to like push everybody to go out of the country. Yes, to try to tell people to like literally pack up their families and leave. I don't know. It's just like when I see in the comments people who are like, oh, this is where my ancestors bled. This is where I don't get the sense that a lot of them are saying like, oh, I'm gonna fight for this country because like not in a nationalistic kind of way. It's more about that's just not for everybody. And a lot of Black people are indigenous to the United States or can trace it back hundreds of years. So, especially if you can trace your family back and you're close to your family, what is the incentive? It's just not for everybody. As someone who's done it, it's just not for everybody. But it really is for a lot of people. It'll never be for most people. And it's for who it's for. And I think another reason why I've not wanted to like, oh my gosh, my back is hurting. Another reason I haven't wanted to come on here and like really just I can't promote anyone to move. It's just like do what you want to do. I've just do why would I care what you do? I don't have any skin in the game and a lot of people do. That's why they sell you on that. But it's like literally not the right thing for everybody. It will not solve all your problems. It may solve many of them, but with a new experience, trust me, comes new issues. As someone who's done it, you will miss seeing other Black people around in large numbers that you don't know, and you'll just miss seeing them. Or at least I do. And not in every context, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't even say that reason will be enough for me to move back to a place in the United States. It's just you will miss seeing them, and that is a problem because I can feel it. I can feel it in my skin. You know what I'm saying? I can feel it in my aura that I'm just not around my people, Even though this particular country is very welcoming, like they will welcome you. You can be Mexican, but you can't truly ever really be from somewhere you're not though. You're not from there. You're welcome. You're even considered family. But within yourself that it's not the same as the generation upon generation upon generation of your ancestors, literal dead, bodies and corpses and buried ground, you know what I'm saying? Their tombstones and their bodies decomposing in the soil and the connection that you have to that, it is not the same. It's not the same. Let me take my medication tonight so I can get into good night's rest and probably drink some tea to help me sleep. I don't even know if I should be mixing these things, but whatever. I'm glad I got this out. I can work on this later, but at least it's recorded.